Oh yes. Should I print out another one? I don't have the one I brought to the meeting the other day.
Okay.
Okay, I can hand that one in? Okay, thank you. Oh, there. Okay. According to the Oregon Procurement and Transplantation Network, there are 119,956 people in the U.S. that are in need of a life-saving organ. Of those, 77,337 are on an active waiting list. The demand for organs is exceeding its supply, but we can change that. The donation process begins with a decision, and it's your decision. I'm an organ donor, and I think that organ donation after death should be encouraged. I would like to encourage others to become organ donors. Regarding recent conditions, according to the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, every 10 minutes, someone is added to the National Transplant Waiting List. On average, 22 people die each day while waiting for a transplant, and just one donor can save up to 8 lives. We all have the ability to promote organ donation. One way to become involved is to become a part of the United Network for Organ Sharing, also known as UNOS. UNOS is active in the state and national health community and collaborates with organizations across the country to reach thousands of individuals and families through exhibits, health fairs, business expos, community and sporting events, and schools and universities. As a part of staff or as a volunteer, you can participate by speaking, handing out pamphlets that contain educational material, or you can also become a UNOS ambassador. These ambassadors help to create awareness through many ways, such as sharing stories or connections to transplant or donations amongst friends, co-workers or neighbors, and setting up displays in schools or churches. And also you can even share a UNOS social media post. That will help also. When an individual becomes a UNOS ambassador, they will receive a kit containing an overview for the UNOS ambassador program. And this contains resources about UNOS' role in matching organs nationwide, transplant history and their waiting list data and more, a 12-minute DVD that explains what UNOS does, how organs are matched, and how lives are changed by organ transplants, and many other things. Although there has been an advancement in medicine and technology, and awareness has increased, a great number of people are still in need of a life-saving organ transplant. The Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network states, while national rates of donation and transplant have increased in recent years, more progress is needed to ensure that all candidates have a chance to receive a transplant. The Organ and Procurement Transplantation Network actively updates its websites with the total of candidates on the organ transplant waiting list. According to the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, as of November 8, 2016, 119,972 people are candidates on the organ transplantation waiting list, and as of November 4th, 2016, from January 2016 to September 2016, there has been a total of 11,777 donors. There are not enough donated organs for nearly every person waiting for a transplant. There are regulations on who receives what organ. According to the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, the decision of who receives what organ is determined by 2 factors. Justice, which includes fair consideration of candidates, circumstances, and medical needs, and medical utility, which includes trying to increase the number of transplants performed and the length of time patients and organs survive. The first step prior to organ allocation process involves finding compatible matches. Candidates and donors must have similar blood type, height, weight, and factors such as medical history, and the current health status of the potential organ receiver are reviewed. If the candidate is not a match, the organ will go to the following individual. Heart, lungs, or liver transplants usually identify the organ recipient before organ recovery, and for kidneys and the pancreas, lab tests are done to measure compatibility. And this will ensure that receivers' immune systems will not reject the organ. This is a chart explaining some of the numbers and data that we discussed. Families are grieving the loss of their loved ones, and the conversation of organ donation can be a difficult one. The OPO, the Organ Procurement Organization, is essential to this in the compatibility process. When the person becomes identified as a potential organ donor, OPO steps in and makes arrangements among the donor organs family, the donor organs transplant centers, and potential transplant candidates. The OPO staff consists of highly trained professionals called procurement coordinators, and they take part of this process. They will then conduct a thorough medical and social history of the potential donor to help determine the suitability of organs for transplant. Work with hospital staff to offer the option of donation to the donor family. Ensure that the decision to donate is based on informed consent. Manage the clinical care of the donor once consent for donation is finalized. Enter the donor info into the UNOS database to find a match. Coordinate the organ recovery process with the surgical terms, and provide follow-up info to the donor family and involved hospital staff regarding the outcome of the donations. All costs starting from consent for donation until the release of the donor's body to the morgue are billed to the OPO. Share your life, share your decision. The number of those in need of organ donations continues to rise, and it is important to become an organ donor. You can benefit so many people in so many different ways. Organ donation should be encouraged after death. I hope that my speech has persuaded those who can to become an organ donor, and those who cannot to become a part of raising awareness to this issue. Thank you.